DreamHack Pro Circuit still power slides on right through here. Day number 1 as we take a glance of the beautiful arena at Montreal, Canada. And it is just an absolute doozy of a day here. RLCS roster's been mixing it up, shaking it up, and some holding their own, others struggling here. And we'll continue to kind of sift through who has enough to hold their own, and especially when looking at our next series. Hello, I'm your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold. Up here with me, I have Gibbs, I have Eternal. Turtle specifically asked that I say that to him.
That's the one I wanted.
Have no idea
I like
why.
it. It makes me feel good. I don't know.
He just needs to know I have a turtle.
Yes.
I think you just need to be in my possession, and suddenly you feel so
I feel
more
safe. I'm secured now.
in the arms. Okay. No. Anyways.
No swimming.
Okay. So the next series that we do have at hand, I called them Birds of Prey, and maybe on one side, when you look at least not only the logo but also the roster and the success, then that of Team Dignitas, and they're taking on the Peeps.
Yeah.
So Dignitas, obviously, basically a brand new roster. They were the greatest team to ever play Rocket League, but now the only one left is Violent Panda at this point, so we'll see how they do. They picked up Yukio last season, didn't work out. Seemed like there was just conflict between all three members, and now they bring in Astral, who had zero experience in the RLCS system, but he's been showing up.
Yeah, and at Beyond the Summit, they were the stand-in team, and they came in third. And Astral, like you said, was the main factor. And even at BTS, we had an interview with Violent Panda, and he said that he thinks Astral is literally the most gifted mechanical player in the world right now. He thinks that Astral fits that perfectly, and I love it because they haven't necessarily had a huge honeymoon stage. Like maybe NRG might be having one right now, but they haven't had a honeymoon stage. They've been trying to grind and build up this chemistry instead of having it start at the top.
So we saw Astral too back at DreamHack Valencia, where we saw some incredible plays from him. Like, you could easily make a top 5 with just Astral plays. The problem was when it came to the defensive side, or just like the rotations that are supposed to be there, sometimes he wasn't. So I think they're still trying to figure out how to teach him the Rocket League game as a team. We know he has that skill by himself. It's just how do you mix him in with two other players?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, because I think that all of those things are very easy to get behind. Astral has shown he is someone who demands respect when he is on the field, but does the whole roster, have they been able to hone each and every ounce of their gameplay? And on the other side here, it is the Peeps.
So the Peeps, they just made it to the RLCS, so we'll see them. And I want to see how they do compared to teams like Ghost or compared to teams like Space Station. We know about the big three. We know about Rogue, but who's next? Who's going to challenge for a world championship spot? And I think the Peeps have a shot. We always say don't sleep on the Peeps. They did lose Arsenal to Space Station Gaming, but they picked up the best player from Birds and the Bees, and that is missed.
Yeah, and I love that point you brought up, Gibbs, about, you know, how do they fare against the lower half of the RLCS teams? Because that is actually their literal next step to get to the top. It's how they fare against, like we just saw Ghost Gaming, Space Station, all these lower level RLCS teams, because they're bursting onto the scene with fire, and they're just trailing a path all the way up to RLCS.
And due to the lack of consistency maybe in results, and also roster on the side of Dignitas, do you feel like this is a place where it would be fair to go that is competing with that bottom, or do you feel like Dig is high enough up that this should be a pretty controlled game for them?
It's hard to tell exactly where Dig is, because again, they got third at Beyond the Summit. It was a different tournament for sure. And at the last DreamHack, they almost made it to day 3. But I think, like, we'll see Astral grow throughout the season, and I think he's going to get smarter and smarter and smarter, and I think Dignitas is a real threat.
We're already seeing an evolution. That was not the Astral we saw on camera last time. And if I am a Rocket League player right now, I am terrified. If he shows confidence, oof, this is going to be scary.
So one important thing that I want to see is Violent Panda. Like, I feel like this season is his legacy, right? Where we used to praise him as one of the best captains to ever play Rocket League. Well, K-Dop left him. And won a World Championship. And then they kicked, like maybe kicked Turboposa. He also wanted to leave. It just wasn't working out. So that's another 3-time World Championship gone. Now Violent Panda has 2 newer players in Yukio. He's obviously more of a veteran now, but Astral with no experience. And this was Violent Panda's call. He wanted Astral, but now it's... Like, can he lead this team? It's not the greatest team in Rocket League ever anymore. He's got to lead this team back to another world championship.
And this is his second DreamHack back here, trying to, you know, improve. And we saw with Renan coming from South America, the improvement he made on stage. After just being on that stage, especially at the World Championship, and getting that experience, you can come back on a stage and be perfectly fine. The nerves are more under control. You understand how the game works on the mental side. And Astral, every time he gets the ball, every time he gets a shot, it's going in.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about some of the honeymoon phases, but one thing that I think is super interesting and would love to hear if you guys think this is a fair point is that when the Yu-Gi-Oh came under the roster, they had their honeymoon phase. They walked away with an absolute dominating first place positioning, right? But then after that, questionable results coming across the board. Now we see shift number 2 with Astral. Has there been enough constant with even understanding what just Yu-Gi-Oh variable was to that rest of that roster to really understand if things go wrong for this group? Like, how do you go, this is how we get better? Because you never had a constant in the first place. You had nothing to measure against.
Yeah, like it seemed like the old Dignitas roster, they had their time and place, and I feel like it was just time for them to separate, right?
Yeah.
Like it seemed like Turbo wasn't happy there. And you can see that with his play throughout the season of the RLCS, where Turbo didn't look like the old Turbo Pulsa until he started switching teams and having some more fun. It just seemed like they needed a break. So now they have Astral. Like, I want to see them, say they come in 5th again. Like, I don't think they necessarily have to make a move. Exactly. It's about growing with this team.
Yeah.
But it did seem like that old roster. It's like they had their time and place. They were the best team ever, but they needed to go their separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, taking your time to build chemistry is so much more important than just having a honeymoon phase. And I'm sure Panda is more excited about the fact that they have to grow together because they can build another dynasty like we saw with Dignitas. They can get back to the top, especially with how gifted Astral is mechanically. All they have to do is close those gaps on defense, and they have a really solid run for back at the top.
Well, I need to know which one of these birds is going to take flight here and actually rise to the occasion. Is it Dignitas, or is it that of the Peeps?
I don't think it's the Peeps time yet, and I do think Dignitas, they have the experience, maybe not as much as they used to, but they still have a ton of experience on stage with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Violent Panda, and I think they take this one.
I used to view Dignitas as like, oh, you know, everybody's gone, they're going to the bottom, but then I saw this Astral player come in, and now everything just keeps rising. They are the bird that's rising, as you would say, Wade, and I think Dignitas are going to take it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to vote against Dignitas in this circumstance. Even with the adjustments, they have some very impressive players, and Astral, as we've already said, has really made a mark, and at this point, I think he is, at least for me, the player that you go and you just go, where does this actually cap? Because he does feel like he's almost bringing a new tier, the same way I can't help but feel like players like Squishy Muffin did at moments when they were introduced to the scene.
It's just going to be really exciting to see, like, because I think right now Dignitas is more like, all right, Astral, you do what you want to do, and we'll just kind of support. But at some point, they're going to mold that into, we know you're like so good, but we have to rotate. We have to do a 3-man rotation, and you just have to pick your battles. It's kind of like he has to turn into Shawset, where Shawset, he picks his battles. He doesn't get a lot of moments, but when he does get the moments, he capitalizes. So I think that's the next step for Astral.
Yeah, it's all about the decision-making and having the, I guess, intelligence to choose to, instead of go for the corner boost, make the team play, turn back around. And that's something that Astral keeps doing constantly. Go into the corner, trying to take boost, because he's looking at what he can do to make an effect. But instead, he should just look at how he should, you know, bring a benefit to the team.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but have we seen these results? Hello?
Hey, don't sleep on the Peeps. And also, like, Dignitas was the Empire, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to see them lose for a while. And now they also lost Turbo, who everyone loves Turbo.
I mean, the Empire did fall, though.
It did. And they do strike back, though.
These puns, man. These puns,
I actually am not a fan of Star Wars at all, but hey, I pulled it out.
That was the dankest of memes.
Yeah, I was thinking it, but I didn't say it.
You know. You're better than me.
Let's get this thing underway. We're going to send you to the casting crew. It is Johnny Boy and Shogun.
Now, I'm not usually one to pick up on sort of like something that often. I usually miss quite a bit, but I get the feeling that the desk is impressed by Astral.
I think so. I mean, they didn't really talk about him that much, but there's some underlying tones. We're reading between the lines here and there, and yeah, I think Astral might be someone that they're interested in watching play Rocket League.
Certainly should be. I'm interested in watching this series in general, especially after that fan vote. I've got a theory on it, though. I have checked my alarm clock. It's getting quite late for EU.
Yeah, true. I wonder, though, because, I mean, Dignitas recently, I think they've been getting, more fans. Everybody used to just vote against them because they really wanted Dignitas to lose.
Nobody likes a winner.
They were so dominant. Everybody just wanted to see them lose. But now they're not as dominant anymore. So, sometimes they go into a match as the underdog. Quite often, actually, recently. And they're getting a bit more support. But apparently, in this one, everybody's going for the Peeps. Twitch chat think the Peeps are going to win. So
I've seen Twitch chat score a banger of an own goal today. So.
Oh yeah, true. Twitch chat did score a goal. Well done, Twitch chat. We'd love to have casted that one. That was definitely play of the day. It was an own goal, right?
It was an own goal.
I believe it was an own goal.
But, sometimes you have to even say an own goal is a banger.
It counts, absolutely. I would love to see some own goals this year. I mean, own goals are great to cast, I'm not going to lie. They're very entertaining.
They are, because you don't have to give them any sort of respect. Either way, we are into game number 1, Dignitas versus the Peeps. And it is an opportunity for the Peeps to really cement themselves as, well, sort of party poopers in a way, but it's not like it's a team that hasn't got a reputation for it. They're one of the teams, like you look at them, look at the dudes, you look at Afterthought, where there's always one of those 3 teams that seems to have taken down a really big name every time you have one of these open tournaments.
So do you think it's going to be the Peeps since Afterthought?
Afterthought haven't fulfilled that.
They're already gone from this tournament. That's just how brutal DreamHack is on day 1. There's already so many teams sacrificed. We have to half the entire number of teams before we start day 2. This not being an elimination match means that we will see more of these guys later. Remember to check out the twitch.tv/DreamHack Rocket League 2 as well for other games. If there is any downtime here, you can check out what's happening over there. We're just caught the end of the Vitality 3-0 win in their match on just before we started here. Oh, nice shot by Panda behind the goalkeeper, and that's the first goal for Dignitas. You're doing pretty well to get things going.
Yeah, Yukio, lovely little pass off. Gyro just not even really close. He did the full 180 turn, which means you've got no pace. He's right in the middle, pretty much on the goal line. He's not going to stand a chance. It doesn't have to be behind him. It can be anywhere, as long as it's not within jumping distance. Gyro's not getting to that one. Certainly something you're going to take a look at. And for those of you who are wondering and have been with us all day, this is a different Mist. There's Mist and there's Misty.
Ah, yes.
Don't get it confused.
That'd be a really good idea, you know, just play for 2 different teams. If your first team is eliminated, you're still in the tournament.
Let's not go giving them ideas. Who exactly would be the disguise master on that one to get away with it?
Just need a, you know, nice... all you need is a, you know, big fake nose. Nobody's going to recognize you, trust me.
Is this you admitting to something?
No, it's all... So, the Peeps win condition here has got to be to try and bait Dignitas forward, because we've seen in the past Dignitas can get a bit clumped up. They all group together a little bit when they're trying to clear the ball. So if the Peeps can bait them out of their goal... Oh, that's a leave for Mist, who's not hit the target. Really should have been scoring there, at least putting it onto the goal. It's got to be, in my opinion, the Peeps' biggest thing they need to be focusing on. It's another open net this time for Rettles. No, it's going to bounce up awkwardly. Dignitas need to be careful. I mean, I just said it, and now they keep doing it. They keep all moving forward together as a group, and nobody's back to catch these hard clears. Yeah,
the biggest and best news for Dignitas right now is that the Peeps just haven't looked all that clinical this game. A lot of very heavy touches, offering opportunities for Dignitas to come in and try and prevent the shot going in. Here is Astral. And it looks like he is on the Fennec hype.
He is, yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, Dominus Astral is so dominant in BTS, so would have really expected to see that again. But everybody's playing the Fennec these days, popularized by Chaussette. Might be the best player in the world at the moment. Certainly in the conversation.
That's just sort of in.
That's just gone in. Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to watch this one again in slow motion, because you probably didn't quite catch what happened. There it is.
Where did there was someone going back, I swear. Like, there was someone on the way back, and I don't know what sort of disappearing act has happened here. So yeah, 90 seconds left. Peeps are back in it, and Turtle's looking at me very disappointed. He's none too happy about that goal.
It looks like Twitch chat, we're just right all along. The Peeps are superior, or at least they look like they've got the momentum now with a huge goal like that.
Very sloppy opening game, I'd have to say, from both teams. They'll definitely both know that they've got areas to improve upon, although Dignitas now taking control of the ball. Yukio to find Astral. Astral's lovely first touch from him. Couldn't quite get beneath it, though. Looking for the ceiling. 1 minute now. This is one thing I want to see more of from Dignitas, is that their opening goal came from a passing play. I don't think we've seen much since then.
Yeah, there's not been too many connected passes. And of course, that infield from Yukio was exactly what Dignitas are famous for. You don't obviously need passing plays with Astral in your team. You just need to give him the ball and see what he can do.
I think the passing play would definitely give Astral the sort of space that he needs, though, because right now he's either having to get shut down immediately if he starts on the halfway line, or he's got to go from the entire length of the pitch. And I'm sure he can, but I think he'd prefer not to.
Well, I tell you what, DreamHack Valencia, he was actually the assist machine. He kept on setting up everybody else. He would just make sure to get the ball past the opponents and then let someone else do the finish for him.
There's definitely a long history of players being very good at that. Balui and Devo, actually, when they originally entered the scene, both very solid 100-0 players. But we are into overtime here in game one. Dignitas scoring the infield pass. The Peeps scoring.
They did score. It somehow went in. But yeah, Dignitas have tightened things up at the back. They're trying not to overcommit with their third man, because that is what got them in trouble earlier. Redirect from Panda, slow but on target. That's going to put the pressure on the Peeps. They're actually not doing the best job of getting this ball to safety, continually hitting it straight down the middle. That's better from Rettles. He comes in and knocks it on from another weak clear, which was going directly to Dignitas.
Panda looks to try and get rid. It's going to be missed. Only over to Astral once again. Astral attempts to pass downfield, but Panda's always going to be second best. Now Gyro keep that pressure going, but neither team able to really string along that many passes in a row, or that many touches in a row. Rettles wanted the tap straight down, but couldn't quite do it. Instead, over to the corner, it's going to be hard to create any sort of opportunity for the Peeps, whilst this board is so close to the wall and going so slowly.
I saw something just at the back of the screen there. Astral was turning back to goal while his teammates clear the ball, and I like that because criticized him a lot in the past for following too closely when he is third man, and somebody's dribbling the ball clear. That's promising for Dignitas. Not looking like they're going to make the same mistake that caught them out earlier.
Nice shot from Astral. Saved on the goal line, though, by Gyro as Rettles pops it over the top. Yukio's not able to get there in time. Astral has to get there. Pops it over the top of his goal, but the pressure is still on. Infield pass now, and the shot needed to be better.
Peeps failing to hit the target when it matters most. And you don't want to miss opportunities like that. You have to test the goalkeeper. I mean, they tested Astral there, and Astral passed the test, but that's the moment you got to pounce on it. Get another shot in before he can recover.
Nice there. Rettles now be by himself. He's using the time he's got available to him. Good decision making there from the Peeps player. 2 minutes into this OT, that is a mistake, and Astral forced to try and play it into the corner. I don't know how much boost he's got, but he's got time and he's got a flick. He's got to pass Rettles. But Rettles did the smart thing there. He went early, forced the flick, made Mist's life incredibly easy to try and move forward.
Challenging in waves. Such a big part of Rocket League at the moment, with dribbling becoming more popular.
It seems to have gone out of fashion and it's now straight back in. It's
right as I said, dribbling is getting more popular. Chaussette just walked past me and raised his eyebrows. I think he's trying to take credit for that. Astral flip reset on target. Not his first one this game. None of them have gone in as of yet.
I feel like there just needs to be, like you said earlier on, Astral's getting a lot of passing plays earlier, but Panda just pops one from the side, and, well, it's a goal from nowhere, really, but it's a goal they'll take.
Yeah, not the best touch by Mist. Panda all over it. And who's that? Following into the corner. It's the Peeps goalkeeper. You don't want to be doing that. I mean, that's what Dignitas have been doing wrong all year, actually, is not leaving somebody in goal for these basic shots to get saved.
I think we've actually got quite a lot we can unpack here, Johnny. I sort of want to discuss the Peeps in this one. What were we really seeing from them, and what do we want them to improve as we head into game two?
Well, just that. They need to try and not give away easy goals. Both teams actually need to try and not give away easy goals, because the equalizer and the winning goal in this game were incredibly preventable. All that would have been required is somebody to be thinking, okay, maybe I should defend the goal here, not think, how can I get involved in offense when you don't have any backup. This was a really nice pass and placement of the shot from Yukio and Panda, respectively. But both of the other goals this game had less impressive qualities.
It will be Dignitas coming out of game one on the better side. Both teams looking a little bit sloppy. It's definitely something you would expect to see improve as this series goes along. Remember, both these teams, or a lot of the players on here, not necessarily overly used to this sort of stage. Yes, Dignitas are getting players that have started to get experience more and more throughout this year. But for the Peeps, you know, it's not often they get to play offline. And this is certainly going to be an interesting Time to see how they react to it throughout this series.
Yeah, I do think one of the things that Peeps were looking for is to get a fast start here. Try and put Dignitas on the back foot, because Dignitas know they're the favorites in this matchup. They should be winning. But that's all gone out the window now, with Dignitas being one game ahead, I should say. This will be a very difficult comeback for the Peeps, who look to be outclassed mechanically, I would say, from what I've seen. Not just today, but from these teams recently. But that's a very good start to game 2. Retals reading 2 misses and managing to put the shot in between them both. Well played.
Yeah, really nice setup there from Gyro, just blasted off the backboard. That's the good thing. A lot of people in Rocket League, they like to rotate left to right, and they're coming in towards the center. There's some sort of timing that if you put it down the middle, whilst 2 players are coming from the left and the right, you almost always get the double commit. And that's what happened there. As going to go off the backboard, Yukio for an opportunity to equalize. And that lead did not last long at all.
The Peeps struggling to get the ball away from danger. That's well done by Panda. He's knocked it right into the sweet spot where Yukio could beat the goalkeeper in the race to the ball and also pick his spot, make sure to get it on target past the challenge that's incoming. Dignitas looking pretty tidy in offense. Certainly creating enough opportunities thanks to Astral, and there is a beautiful goal from the aforementioned.
Big smile on his face as well. Just caught on the sweet spot of the bumper, and there's no way you're getting to that one. Peeps, I feel, need to get some players downfield, because Astral, we saw him going for numerous of these in the last game. He wasn't connecting with the mechanical side of it, but now he is, and you can't give him this space anymore. You need to get in front of him.
Yeah, somebody needs to move in fast, because Astral will definitely be moving as fast as he can. So if you can't, beat him, at least somebody has to get in front of him, stop him from getting an easy shot. Oh, well played actually by the Peeps, though. They have answered just as quickly as Dignitas did. And look at Retals here, taking Astral out of the game. That allows Gyro the open net, and afterwards Rel's just sitting in the back of the goal. He doesn't want to recover fast in case he accidentally saves the incoming shot. 2-2 game 2.
Just says, Astral, you like to fly? Go ahead.
Here's a takeoff.
Gonna be up to the wall. Panda calls off Yukio. It's gonna be off the backboard, and Retals didn't make contact. Well, 3 goals have been scored off the backboard throughout this game, and I think both teams will recognize that it's a danger area.
Yeah, somebody just has to hit the ball here. Retals not in the most comfortable position, but he must have called it because nobody else went up to try and save him. Dignitas with a very good pass off the backboard. It was well placed in an awkward spot. There's Astral now down to Panda, who's waiting on the far side into Yukio. He's tried to pass it back to Panda. This is great to see from Dig, but hang on, is that just an open net? What on earth has happened here? As Panda, I believe, has got out of position, and as Astral, he just gets completely ahead of the ball. What on earth has happened there?
I think he just sort of didn't need the handbrake turn. He could have got to that ball eventually anyway. It's been a curious series so far. I think, especially on the Peeps' side of defense, my main issue with it is that they're getting to defensive positions too early. Right here. You don't want to be at any point in Rocket League stop moving. They are getting in position too quickly, if anything.
Well, where's the challenge?
Exactly.
This ball is completely uncontested.
The moment Yukio takes his time there and doesn't play it immediately, Peeps are completely done for, because they just have to stop and wait for it to go past them.
Well, obviously, everybody in the Peeps defense there, they're all thinking the same thing. They're thinking, well, if I go for this ball, Yukio's just going to hit it past me. But that's fine, as long as you make him hit it in an angle that's not really that threatening. Force him to make the play as early as possible. Give your teammates behind you more time to react. But they're letting Dignitas have a lot of time on the ball. That's an accidental backflip from Mist. Dignitas are getting lots of opportunities here.
It just feels like there's a level of respect coming out from the Peeps for Dignitas that it needs to be gone. You can't afford to respect your opponents that much. You need to get in front of them a lot more. That's going to be off the crossbar. Potential to follow up a second goal. Will be very useful at this moment in time. Johnny, we've had 7 goals. We just passed the halfway mark of this game.
The boost Starvin is coming in. Nobody moving too fast in defense for the Peeps. Hard clears are unlikely to be happening. They are, however, keeping the ball out of their net for now. Let's see if they can start challenging a little bit earlier with their first man. That will prevent Dignitas from constantly attacking and creating chance after chance.
Definitely help slow down Astral a little bit, who is looking more and more comfortable as the series goes along, at least offensively.
Very sneaky air roll shot there from Astral.
Astral infield. Yukio wasn't quite there in time, but it's going to be Panda with an extra follow-up as Astral. I like this from Astral. He does buy time for his team. It's been a consistent problem for them throughout this series, and instead he just waits a little bit, makes sure Yukio has covered the right-hand side of the field, and then chooses to play it afterwards.
This is better, though, from the Peeps. They've had some good saves. Late saves, goal line saves, but still, they're keeping the ball out of the net. And all they need is one chance here. Dignitas are pressing hard for another goal. They would love to get a 2-goal cushion here. But the Peeps are keeping it at 1. They absolutely have to keep it at 1 because I don't see them scoring multiple goals here, at least not with the way the game is currently flowing.
Yeah, it's definitely changed quite a bit from the opening minute and a half. Astral puts it over the top to Panda. It's not that direct though, so Panda's going to have a tough time really getting anything going. But same thing can be said for the Peeps. They're struggling to find any way out. I'd love to see someone on the sidewall just to be a passing option. We saw Chiefs making unbelievable use of that earlier on, but it's definitely something that they could try and steal from the OC boys. Gyro to Rettles. Rettles tries to find the backboard. It's going to be uncontested for the longest time, and Rettles couldn't read it. Is that the Peeps' final opportunity, or can they put something else together in these last few seconds?
Well, they've got 20 of them, and they are going to get another chance. Rettles into the middle to Gyro. High ball shot is into the top of the goal. 17 seconds left, and the Peeps score. That is all they needed.
Very unselfish as well from Rettles with the setup. It looked like he was going to hook shot it. Not a bad shot usually to take. They're so unpredictable. When instead pops it, gets 2 players to pre-jump. Gyro just does the rest of the work. Now Peeps need to find one more goal. Dignitas has been all over them for the time being, but anything can happen. Yukio tries to get there, but Gyro will take it away. Still doesn't mean anything though, because Panda was trying to find the net, missed, had to wrestle himself away, but he got there for the save.
It's really good goalkeeping by the Peeps. That's what's kept them in game 2. So many last-ditch saves. And now they have a chance to steal this game in overtime. Dignitas were not able to hold on for as long as the Peeps were. As soon as they were put back into defense, they conceded pretty much I think it was the second attack, actually.
Hands to the corner, Gyro off the side. I thought that was originally on target from the angle I had. It's now going to be off the backboard from Yukio. Astral for the tap down for Panda again. Well read from Mist. Having a great defensive performance in the last few seconds, plus overtime. Peeps are still in it, but Dignitas are pressing hard.
Dignitas just want to keep the ball in the Peeps' end because the Peeps have struggled to clear it when Dig can keep on denying their boost pads in the back corners. Dig have definitely got to be careful. I mean, they've been stretched a bit thin at times by the Peeps. Found openings. And, you know, if the Peeps can disguise more passes as shots, then they could have a chance. But what a shot by Astral, actually. That's just going to be the game. And it looked like the Peeps might have this one covered, but the Gyro touch just bounces off the wall. That's not what he was looking for. He wanted that to stick to the wall. Give it a harder angle for Astral to hit, but Astral's just too good. He's going to put that in the corner every time.
It was a very laissez-faire shot as well from Astral. He knew he had the angle.
It just relied on the placement. And, I mean, it is punishing a mistake by the Peeps. That last touch of the ball that the Peeps made was just not good enough. They needed to keep the ball in the corner, not bounce it off the wall, and give a player like Astral a completely uncontested shot.
So now 2-0 for Dignitas. It was, well, if you liked your goals, you certainly got plenty of them in that previous game. 9 overall. You won't see too many more games for this entire weekend that's quite as heavy as this. What a shot this was, though, to tie us all up. Unfortunately, however, when you come against Dignitas, you need to be clinical, and Astral was definitely that.
Yeah, Gyro just needed to make a better touch on the ball at the end there. Or, you know, when he made a touch like that, I thought maybe he's got full boost and he's confident of saving this shot that Astral's taking, but it turned out he really wasn't that confident of saving the shot. It was a great shot, though, in fairness. Yeah, you wouldn't expect a mistake like that from a team like the Peeps, who have been defending so well for the latter half of that game. They kept out so many goals when they were 4-3 down, giving themselves a chance to bring it into OT. But it was all for nothing. Now that's a reverse sweep or loser bracket for the Peeps. Dignitas can confirm their day 2 with just one more game win.
We're going to be starting this one off over on Manfield Night. Definitely your favorite map, Johnny. I can already see the grin on your face.
Love my Manfield Night.
And there's the Peeps. Understand exactly the task ahead of them. I'd like to see them be more aggressive, and they've done exactly that. Missed, one shot, one goal.
Nice pass as well by Gyro. That little touch to take the ball past the first challenge was not easy to do. He hit it pretty much directly sideways and just squeezed it past the defender and then recovered to get it into the middle away from both of the others. It's basically a 1v3 assist there. Peeps open the scoring. That's a miss from Rettles in defense. He can't land on it. Crossbar pass for Dig, but Rettles has recovered well.
I think, especially after that previous game, it's hard to believe that any lead is all that safe. It's going to be Panda. Lovely infield for Yukio. Does get red, as infield passes have been more and more officially defended over the last few years. Gyro plays it backwards. He's done an alright job, actually, to try and force Astral and gets a 1-for-1 trade. Now back onto the ball again. Rettles was a passing option. He's not looking as comfortable this time, however. Does still get something out of it. It's a lovely ability to learn. If you can get your challenges solid, then no matter how badly you played up to it, you can at least get a 1-for-1.
Yeah, you always want to take those 50-50s if there's any risk of being dunked on, and there is the drop into a 50 from Gyro, using it to get the ball past someone who's jumping a bit too high into a challenge. 1-0 still for the Peeps, but the ball's on their goal line, nobody there. You'd really think Astro would be all over that kind of shot. It's hard to believe that that will make it into the middle at the highest level of Rocket League. You just never think that a ball's going to creep across the goal like that.
As well as you have to be so far forward to even have a chance of taking the shot, and it's not necessarily a level of aggression that many players do default to. Panda does clear long. It's going to be as far as Rettles, but Rettles actually choosing to leave it for the time being. The Peeps retreating back more and more after a very, very good start. And I'm not overly convinced that's the right decision right now, because Dignitas starting to lock down the final third of the field. Violent Panda couldn't quite get it, and now we chase down to the other side of the field. Rettles steals the boost, goes for a ceiling pass. Yukio will see that one away.
Yeah, the Peeps have been challenging those infield passes of Dignitas very well, and I think missed especially. Great coverage on those, reading the timing to perfection. But they could be doing a little bit more. They could stop the pass from even happening in the first place, which would be one better than what they're currently forcing themselves to have to deal with. But hey, if it works, it works. If they can prevent these shots from coming in, all power to them. Let's see if they can do it for another 2 minutes.
Astral,
they might not have to.
Astral, he looks to the skies and looks back to his screen, and yes, the second time we're looking at a screen, the ball has still gone in.
It's a forced own goal, really. I mean, Astral has to do something because there's a Peeps player right behind him who's going to score anyway, so Astral just trying to maybe stop the ball in the goal line, it would seem.
Such a horrible feeling because you had no correct option.
The only thing he could do was own goal. That was it.
And you know what I look at that? I look at that as you didn't score, I just let you.
I'll tell you why it's a good play, though.
Why?
Because if he waits, maybe another second goes off the clock before the Peeps player scores, and then they would have less time to make the comeback. So own goal was the correct play there.
Optimization.
There you go.
In Rocket.
If they get a 0-second goal here, just saying.
Astral is going to have to try and follow this up, but he's on 0 boost. That was a lovely touch, and one that Astral would like to have even had 30 boost to try and follow up. Minute and a half on the clock, and the Peeps doing a good job at their start on their search for the reverse sweep. And Gyro back to the corner, and expect the Peeps to barely ever send more than one player across that halfway line. They're going to protect this 2-goal lead with their lives.
Dignitas have had chances. I think their main problem this game has been that their passes are just too obvious. They've been well executed, they've been quick, and they've been followed up with some pretty good shot opportunities. However, the Peeps have seen them coming because Dignitas have not tried to disguise their passes as shots like I was talking about in the last game. We've got 50 seconds, still need 2 goals. Peeps looking good to tie up the series.
Peeps and Gyro especially very happy to just try and waste as much time with the clock. They know that they don't have to play as quickly as Dignitas do, and more shots that get lofted into the air, though, more time wasted. Yukio over to Astral, but once again, and seems like Peeps are taking your advice, Johnny. They are on top of a lot of these passing plays before anyone can even make contact.
See, this is the danger for Dignitas, is that the Peeps have actually managed to beat them here, or it seems like they will. Yeah, they're fine. 13 seconds, not a problem. Sure, no big deal.
It's all good.
Don't worry about it. It's definitely not a difficult game from this spot. I've never seen a kickoff goal tie up a game in, you know.
What were we saying earlier on, Johnny? 0 seconds?
I think I just said if that goes to 0 seconds and they score, that own goal could have been clutch.
Look how slow Gyro's playing that as well. He had the opportunity just to blast it, but chose not to. Anyway, Johnny, feel free to sweat for a little while until this one hits the floor.
Let's see if they can do it. Right there, so guaranteed that would have been game over without the own goal right there. So they had one more chance because the ball bounced up right after 0 seconds, or right on it. But yeah, I was gonna say the Peeps have actually beaten Dignitas while Dignitas they seem to be executing their game plan in that game. They're hitting their passes and they're creating opportunities, but the Peeps are reading it. They've actually adapted to what Dignitas are doing, and they've beaten them even though Dignitas executed their game plan pretty well. I don't know what their adaptation is going to be going into game 3 with knowledge that, hey, the Peeps are actually saving all of our shots. They're blocking all of our passes, and even they're starting to aggress the ball earlier, which is going to make it even harder for Dignitas.
I've got to say, Gyro really impressed me throughout this game with just general game sense. Nothing really overly flashy, but a lot of good decision-making that certainly helped his team in the long run.
Coach agrees.
Coach is very happy.
Yep. Very smart plays by Gyro. Well, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Dignitas have played some long series just a month ago at Beyond the Summit, so they're going to be fine in terms of playing out the rest of this one. But is it going to go the distance? The Peeps still need 2 games in a row. And, you know, I said it was going to be very difficult for them to come back in this one because I think Dignitas have they've got the experience. They've been here so many times before. Although Astral is new, but he's got 2 very recent lands with this team as well. They've definitely got the edge here. Let's see if the Peeps can continue to read Dignitas, figure them out. Well, that's almost the exact start that they got in game number 3. So if they can just hold on like they did in game number 3, they're going to be fine.
It's just such a change from the Peeps. After watching them in games 1 and 2, if you then said to anyone, oh yeah, this team will be happy to send 3 people forward for an attack, you'd never think that they'd be willing to do that. But Peeps have definitely had a mindset change. Gyro, trying to be a little bit fancy, definitely went for the tornado. I'm sorry, a tornado flick, just thought if he span around enough, he'd create one.
Just trying to find his way back underneath the ball, because at some point you have to be air rolling into the ball when you're air dribbling to prevent the ball from knocking your car away and you know, losing control or even losing momentum. So he needs to be air rolling it in some direction. He might as well keep on spiraling underneath it. You know, it looks like freestyling, but there's definitely a method to that. Great interception by Gyro. Dignitas passes infield continue to be intercepted every single time. There's another one swatted off the backboard. Really impressed with how the Peeps have adapted here. All the holes that we were saying earlier. I mean, they conceded 4 goals so quickly in game number 2, but now they've really shored things up.
Astral. So let's just plop it down.
Oh, no.
Gyro
Oh, no.
Just sort of helped that play along.
We have to see exactly what Gyro went for here.
I am never complimenting anybody.
Whatever he was trying to do there, it definitely wasn't that. Must have looked like there was a Dignitas player a lot closer to the ball from his perspective, because he's just popped it straight into Yukio for the tie game. I don't think he even needed to. There was a goalkeeper behind him. There was a little bit of time to play with. Just like that, the Peeps worst defensive play in quite a while. Gives Dignitas an equalizer.
Oh, that's going to go to the
look at that, though.
Redemption.
You can praise Gyro again. He's done well.
He is the best player in the world.
That's a pretty bold statement. But hey, it looks pretty okay in this context. He's the best player in the world who just scored.
He is. Yeah. Nobody else has scored.
Nobody else scored that goal. I do like his positioning in the lead up to that, though. It's not just about the placement of the shot. It's the fact that he got there so quickly by being over on the left side of the field, reading exactly where Panda is going to try to clear the ball, and getting there before anyone in Dignitas can even think about challenging.
It's going to be to Yukio, trying to find the far corner, but there's nobody over there for Dignitas right now. It's just a positioning thing, and this has been something that Peeps have done over and over again. Every time Dignitas blast the ball to their side of the field, they just control it and wait.
Yeah,
they don't force motion.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a 50-50 there. You're actually gaining territory more than you're losing it, I would feel.
Especially when you're catching it over in the corner, because you have to look at the potential ways that the ball can pop out, and outside of something catastrophic, and there certainly could be that. Let's find Panda off the backboard. Oh no,
my
that
goodness.
was such an awkward bounce, and Dignitas can't follow it.
Yeah, Dignitas have got to be hitting the ball on flat surfaces. Is that going? No, Rettles actually can't put this in, but Gyro will. 3-1. And the demo from Rettles left Dignitas all over the place. Nobody there to clear the ball. Yukio probably looking through a huge pile of smoke, and the ball's completely obscured by it. Peeps have to actually turn this one around. They look like they figured Dignitas out here.
They certainly do. The Peeps have had the better opportunities, and it looks like a game that is being played at their pace at the moment. Panda just tries to keep it going, but there's no way of getting an extra touch. Astral off the backboard. It's going to be up to Yukio to finish this play off. What? And it's just not on target. And unfortunately, I feel like I've said that sentence a lot in this series.
That was a caster aerial. That was definitely not a Yukio aerial that we just saw. Who picked up the controllers? No, like the keyboard, actually. What am I talking about? Maybe he did try and score that one with a controller. That would explain it. But yeah, they've got to be better with their shooting. Dignitas several times just hitting shots wide when they could be on target without question.
And the Peeps is defensive positioning, especially when shots just go straight at them, isn't necessarily the most airtight. There's definitely some angles that it can be popped as. Goal number 4 goes in, and ladies and gentlemen, game 5 is looking pretty juicy.
And Astro looked a little bit tilted after that one. I mean, this is getting away from them. 4-1. Dignitas just realized, wait, we're being reverse swept here. This is not ideal.
We need to see Dignitas talking at this moment, because don't want players getting into their own heads. Astro can find the ceiling reset.
That's fine, though, for the Peeps. The early challenge is all they need there. Force Astral to make that incredibly heavy touch, because he knows if he doesn't make that touch, he's going to be tackled. So he needs to make that touch that he can't catch up with. And then someone else can come in and clear the ball for the Peeps.
Well, the very nice thing about air dribbles, especially defending them, is there's a longer period of time to make contact. You either have the ball go on top, over the top of you, and you hit the player, or you just hit the ball. There is a lot more time to make contact with something that's going to throw off the play.
You know, we were criticizing the Peeps earlier for not making those challenges and just letting Astral land flip reset after flip reset. Oh, that's a great fake. Astral against Miss solo, and he puts it in. One more chance for Dignitas. 40 seconds left. The mind game was ideal. That is not what you want if you're the Peeps, especially Miss. You go completely left alone at the back there. He's just thinking, oh, please, why didn't you just hit the ball? Now I have to defend in a 1v2. 40 seconds for Dignitas to try and come back.
Astral's on the ball again. Against Gyro this time, and couldn't find the flick that he was after, but Panda's shot on target.
Oh.
And Yukio has made it a 1-goal game.
Where was the Peeps rotations? Gyro's alone at the back for so long. Nobody even close to getting back to help him. We missed when the goal's getting shot. Finally arrives on the scene, but somebody needs to get back faster. Gyro did so well to save this in a very difficult angle.
He not only saved it, he slowed down the play.
Yeah, I'm so surprised.
A double whammy of good news for the team.
No one there to support him, though. I couldn't actually believe that the rotation didn't come in.
20 seconds now left. Peeps are desperate for a game 5. But Astral's got it on his hood again, and this is where all the problems keep coming from. This time forced to flick very early as Rettles gets to the other side of the field. Long boom and clear. Double commit and missed touches and fantastic. Rettles comes in before the follow-up shot can happen. Violent Panda goes the entire length, and it's a great block from Gyro. Didn't quite get the right timing for it.
Stayed up. That 0-second play just came in. It's all smiles for the Peeps. They hold on. I mean, they would have felt so bad if they lost this game, and that would have put them in lower bracket in a full tilt. But instead, it could be Dignitas, who are less stable emotionally going into this game 5, as they've not had the best year. They've, not had even the greatest start with this new roster, especially with DreamHack Valencia not going to plan. Beyond the Summit looked a lot better for them, but they've had a mixed bag of results, and this seems to be another one to add to that collection.
And ladies and gentlemen that are currently watching on twitch.tv, if you have the internet for it, I could not recommend more than you hitting that squad mode right now.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to game 5 over here, but over on the B stream as well, we are going to game 5 between Ghost and Cloud9. It is all popping off right now in Montreal.
It's all game 5s at DreamHack Montreal, day number 1. And that's another winner side of another winner bracket match as well. Cloud9 Ghost. Of course, Ghost would go to game 5, wouldn't they? Even Lethamyr you can take the Lethamyr at Ghost, but you can't take the game 5.
I'm really saying like that entire team is different now.
Yeah, they are, but they still go for game 5 every single time. So that'll be a cracker. But this one, reverse sweep on the line as well. Can the Peeps make it happen, or will Dignitas show the class that we know they have?
Well, the Champions Field announcer is going to have to pull double time here. He's got 2 games going on at once. Really hoping he can pull it out.
We never tried casting 2 games at once, so it would be interesting.
Shout out to the guys at WSOE.
Okay, let's see if the Peeps can keep this up. This is where the pressure is really going to start piling on. I mean, they got a pretty nice game 3 win in this series, and then game number 4, they ran away with it and had to hold on at the end. Now it's all on the line. 1 game, best of 1. To qualify for day 2. Not just that, but with the preferential seeding, it's such a big deal to get a win or 2 wins rather in the upper bracket in this format.
Yes, it's not an easy route no matter what route you take, but anything that can make your life more comfortable, you certainly want to take. Heck, even making it to day 2 after losing this would be anything but a given. Yukio looking to come in. It's going to be Violent Panda. Tries to pass that one off to Astral, who was unchallenged. Peeps have not looked quite as up front with their defense in our opening minute and a half. Definitely seemed like maybe that game 5 nerves might be starting to pop in.
The accuracy from Dignitas is just not there. I've seen all 3 players missing shots. Oh, that's a goal though for Panda. It didn't look like he was going to get this one through. Multiple Peeps defenders in the near post. It's a low dish as he just looks to put it in past 2 players who I think maybe expected more from him. That's got to be the explanation here.
Work this out for ages about how to create good plays from the corner. Thank you, Panda. You've answered my question. Drive at the net.
He just drove towards the goal and then side flipped. I think Peeps must have been expecting something fancy here because nobody dodged into the ball, which would have been sufficient. I can think Dignitas close this one out. They've had a real scare here from the Peeps. One of the closer matches according to the seeding, but I think everybody, apart from Twitch chat apparently, thought Dignitas were going to win this. Just 3 minutes away from doing just that. The Peeps are looking to move up and threaten them once again. 1 demo for Rettles, but Astral gets away, and that's a great flip reset, his best one yet. It's saved by Gyro, who this time is rotating back in the nick of time. Make sure that they have that 3rd man when they need him.
Nice clear again. Astral starting to look really solid.
Oh!
He was coming into his own at the end of game 4, and he has taken over game 5.
And that's just terrifying. You see Astral spiraling towards this ball. Mist knew he had to get up into the air and do something. Unfortunately, Astral had his number. He was arriving later than Mist anticipated, so the 50-50 turned into a dunk. And then the Peeps have got half the game to get 2 goals. No contact from Mist. He runs out of boost on his aerial. Astral might just be able to drag Dignitas into day 2 at the end of a very difficult series.
Panda from the corner again, maybe his most dangerous position after what we've seen this game.
You got to watch out for his very slow and direct dribbles from the corner, Shogun.
I feel like it's almost disrespectful that he tried it.
Yeah, he just dribbled into their goal. He just took the ball and then put it in their net in slow motion. And the Peeps have got to try and rally here. Astral looking very prepared. He's had multiple hard clears. Lots of big plays. That's less of a big play from Panda. Yukio with a crucial save. Now 1:30 for the Peeps. It seems to always be one man for Dig who's ready and prepared to do the cleanup and defense whenever somebody else misses.
Yeah, certainly the most defensively solid that we've seen them this entire series. It's been very difficult for the Peeps to get anything going, and certainly when they're trailing at the moment, it's hard to catch Dignitas out on a counter-attack when Dignitas don't need to attack.
With, you know, between the air dribbles and hard clears, Dignitas are not letting the Peeps attack for very long. So you're looking at maybe 1-2 more attacks in this entire game. Except maybe you're going to get more if there's kickoffs. But the Peeps need to score soon, or this one is not going to be winnable. Dignitas are running down the clock with high ball plays. As long as they can keep doing that, they will move on to day 2. The Peeps will drop down to the lower bracket. It's a dangerous place to be at DreamHack.
Panda just going to push this down the side. He's got all 3 players seemingly moving across with him. 30 seconds now. They need something, and they need it soon. Can Mist provide? Top corner!
Great demo as well by Rettles. Gyro gets the ball past one, it bounces out, but there needed to be a demo there. I think Astral would have had the near post covered had that not come in. So the Peeps have got a chance. 26 seconds. Are they going to get the kickoff to go in their favor?
Panda against Gyro, and it's going to be a fantastic way for Astral to move on to, but Gyro's got a fantastic block. Yukio to the corner, only as far as Mist. Would have wanted something more meaty in terms of touch. Instead, just sort of rolled it into the corner. 10 seconds on the clock, all to do for Peeps.
Gyro brings it down. He's not got a bad challenge there. A Panda with options, he just clips it. That was risky, what if he missed it? He had the faith in himself though, and now it's on 0 seconds. Rails with a high ball. Gyro's up for it, but so is Violent Panda. And that'll be the game and the series for Dignitas. They did have enough class and composure to cross the line.
And it's that lad that you see on your screen right now, Astral, on a whole nother level for the last 6 minutes of the series. The Peeps, they'll be disappointed to drop down. They'll be disappointed that they didn't finish the job, but they had a 10-minute period where they had Dignitas sussed out. They knew exactly what they were doing. Unfortunately, they just dug themselves such a large hole at the beginning of the series that just could not recover. We're going to be here to hear more about this in just a second after a quick commercial break.